There is something that I feel like a lot of people ignored with regards to Nabi leaving. Now, let's make a disclaimer. Nabi is gone. There is nothing that can be done for him to come back, and that is okay. We are going to continue supporting the club because we've been supporting the club before Nabi, during Nabi, and we'll do so after Nabi. But that does not mean that we ignore the glaring issues from his goodbye message. And we're going to look at what he said and the things that he didn't say and the things that he implied and have a discussion. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Starting from the top, Nabi talks about his players and the fact that he would have wanted to hug them, and he's talking about how proud and grateful of the efforts of the players. And by the way, remember that one of the things that we started appreciating about Kaizer Chiefs players of late was the effort that they were putting in and the hard work that they were putting in. We're talking about Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo. How many coaches have coached Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo? And we saw him under some of the coaches, him gaining weight and nothing changing, having injuries after injuries. Nabi comes in with his technical team. All of a sudden, Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo drops his weight. All of a sudden, Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo is now not playing as a 10 that we thought he was all along. He's now being played as an 8, and he's doing a good job there. Yes, he was still not starting some games because Nabi did say that he wants to work on his physicality, but there was clear progress in improving Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo. Tadiwa Onetitloko at Kaizer Chiefs last season was on his way out to be loaned to Magesi after not having such a great season when he arrived at Chiefs. But guess what? He ended up being a key player who Kaizer Chiefs ended up selling for 15 million rands to a club in Libya. We don't know how they spent that 15 million in signing new players because most of them were free agents. But we're not there. You have Nkosi Ngiphile Ngcobo, who's become a good player. You have Tadiwa Onetitloko, who became very good under Nabi. You have Umthetho, was about to be sent out to Magesi, but he fought for his place. He came back and he did the things for the Chiefs. Even now, he's a key player for Kaizer Chiefs. You have players like Duba talking about the fact that Nabi has made them improve, has made them much better. We can go around that squad. Look at players like Solomons who made mistakes but still came back and had an impact in a team when they were needed. We've seen Zita Kwinika under every coach who has coached when Zita Kwinika was around. He's always been seen as this guy who is the weak link of Kaizer Chiefs. Nabi comes in, all of a sudden Zita Kwinika becomes a key player. He ends up playing in finals. You had a player like Brendan Peterson making mistakes for fun. Yet Nabi calls him to action on the semi-finals on the finals of the Nedbank Cup. He comes in, he becomes a key figure, and then the very following season he's a starting goalkeeper. Tells you, I can continue talking about Mtutuzi Shabalala. We're falling off towards the end of Calvin Johnson and Lifintsegi. We can talk about Duba, talking about how Nabi is improving them as players. Modi. There is a lot of players. There are a lot of players that we can talk about who have been personally improved by Nabi. So when he's talking about the fact that he's grateful for the efforts that the players have made, he's not just writing that for the sake of it, but it's actually something that we've all witnessed, but some of us will not want to admit because it does not suit our agenda. But it continues and it talks about the young players. And we know, he says that they are the jewels of the club. Who scored the first goal under Nazruddin Nabi at Kaizer Chiefs? I'm just going to let you. Who? It was Mtutuzi Shabalala. You remember that towards the end of Mlifintsegi's season, people were talking about, these kids are not good enough. Yet Mtutuzi Shabalala was the one who scored the first goal in that match when we were playing against Marumo Gallants. Fundo Vilakazi came in and scored the winner in that match. And when Nabi is talking about these players being jewels of this club, he is really meaning it because we saw him, even though Abomfundo were not getting 90 minutes that some people wanted him to get. But you're the same people who were critical towards Mfundo when he was playing under Unsegi. You're critical of Mtutuzi when he was playing under Unsegi. So they had to be eased in because they are being protected from the same fan base that is demanding to see them play. Because what fans do sometimes, most of the times, is they'll get excited with this toy, and then when a new toy comes in, then they want that new toy. Like, that's how players are being treated. You look at how when Marco came in and then he played very well, and people were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when he was targeted and then like goals were coming from his side, now people are referring to him as Ushotiwe Pirates. That is not fair. And you have Ukain Samai, who came into Kaizer Chiefs. He was the greatest thing since peanut butter. And then he scored that goal that wasn't supposed to be scoring. People turned on him. Remember that this is the same guy who had scored a goal in the previous league match. And then he comes back, he does something dumb in the following match. People turn on him. Same thing with Sirino. Sirino. He misses a penalty. People turn on him. Same thing with Lilepo. He misses a penalty. People turn on him. Week in, week out, there is a player that Chiefs fans are turning on. Because of banter. But we're not there. We're talking about even adults who people are turning on them. But when we're looking at Nabi, is now talking about the young players and the importance of young players. Some to do the scoring and then doing this to fans. Yeah, it might not end well for him, but what do you expect? But we move. And we talk about him, talking about Dr. Mtaung. I'm going to read this. Thank you to Chairman Dr. Mtaung for giving me the opportunity to wear these colors and supporting me. It is indeed an institution that you have built, and I will remain proud for life to have worn the gold and black colors. Now, here's a killer sentence. I also thank the management. I'll read it again. I also thank the management. Full stop. Oh, there's no, we work together, very nice, day to day, we helped me to get the players I wanted. Oh, we communicated so well. No, nothing. What do you think that means? One sentence. If I count the sentences that Mtaung got, thank you to Mtaung, comma, right, for giving me the opportunity to wear these colors of supporting me. That's a sentence. And then there's another sentence. There's two full sentences where he's singing praises of Dr. Mtaung, who, by the way, did support him, but was not working with him on a day-to-day basis. Yet when it comes to Abo Bobby, Abo Jessica, Abo SD, who you'd expect that he would also talk about a lot, he says, I will also thank the management. One sentence. I also thank the management. 5 words. Last year when Nabi talked about the fact that later on towards the last season, he talked about the fact that I talked to the chairman about him staying, right? And it seemed like the chairman overruled that idea from last season for the management to fire Nabi. He overruled it. He's the chairman. He's their father, so he can tell them to stop. But I guess then, like any other kids can, they manipulated the father. They made their way, and they found a way of getting rid of Nabi. And he's gone now, right? But that's not the worst part, because as we continue to read, he thanks the true supporters for supporting the project, and he talks about the fans being the most important part of this club. But this is the zinger, right? This is the zinger. The most important paragraph in Nabi's goodbye to Kaizer Chiefs fans is when he specifically says, thank you to Safi Machi, Elise Muzuki, the goalkeeper coach. Usafi, by the way, is I will start afresh. When Nabi thanks Safi Machi, the fitness coach, he also thanks Elias Muzoki, the goalkeeper coach. He talks about their drive, their passion, their loyalty, their support. He talks about how it was his pleasure to work with them. He talks about analysts. He names them, Uyusha, Umak, Ufogan, and he talks about their efforts and respect that they gave him. And he says nothing about Khalil and Kaze. You're telling me that he somehow forgot to mention his assistant coaches? I think not. I think not. Up to this far, Nabi gave the management 5 words. And Khalil and Kaizer got no mention at all. And at this point, you might think, oh, he's going to congratulate them. In the end, he doesn't. So, if someone is going to tell me that there was no backstabbing, there was no betrayal, there was no, I'm not going to say sabotage, I'm just going to leave it there. Do you think that there was nothing that happened between the coaches, the coach, and the assistant coaches? I think not. To me, it seems like there was a collaboration between the assistant coaches and the management to overthrow Nabi, which they did. Now, I said this at the beginning of the video, I'm going to say it again. I don't like how this thing transpired. I'm still going to support the team. I'm going to support them because they are coaching the team that I love. So whether they betrayed Nabi or not, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about them as human beings.